Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the world of social skills, and we're going to be covering a very basic topic, which is how to apologize correctly. This may seem a little too basic. You just say, "I'm sorry," right? No. This is a lot more intricate than we're going to first imagine it. So let me talk about the incorrect way to apologize. The incorrect way to apologize is to say sorry, then give a justification. Example, imagine that there's two brothers. There's John and Jake. I know, very clever names. John is wealthy. He's Mr. Big Ballin'. His Shopify store is crushing it. His Amazon store is crushing it. And he's just crushing it in life. And John is one of those guys that doesn't trust the banks or anything like that. He keeps a bag full of money in his room. His little brother Jake is going through a tough time. His Shopify store is failing. His Amazon store is failing. And Jake is just failing in life in general. One day, Jake is fed up. He thinks that John has too much money. He goes into John's room and he begins stealing some money. John comes back from IHOP a little bit earlier than usual, and he sees his little brother stealing from him. John's like, "Jake, how could you? You're my sibling. How are you going to steal from me?" And that's when Jake is like, "John, I'm sorry." So that's the first part. He apologizes. But then Jake is like, "But here's why I stole. I stole because you have all this money and I have such little money. Everything works out for you, but nothing works out for me." He begins justifying his behavior. Now you may be listening to this and you may be like, "Well, what's the big deal? I mean, he's just trying to give more context as to why he did this act in the first place." And that's a very good observation to make. But we got to understand the difference between a justification and an explanation. A justification is more self-serving in nature. It tries to undermine the importance of accountability, while an explanation is not self-serving. It tries to remain as objective as possible, and it takes in accountability. So let's flip the scenario. Let's imagine that there's a guy named Jesse and there's a girl named Jessica. They all go out with their friends. Jesse ends up getting really drunk and he ends up yelling at Jessica. The next day, he calls Jessica and he's like, "Hey, Jessica, I'm so sorry." Boom, apology. And then he's like, "Look, I drank way too much and this was not the correct way for me to behave. It's all my fault. You didn't deserve that." Boom, explanation. The main difference between Jesse and Jake is that Jesse took accountability while Jake subtly tried to throw accountability another direction. He actually tried to put the accountability on his brother. He subtly said, "Well, you have more money than me." And that's how a lot of people manipulate as well. They're giving apologies, but the apologies are not correct. It's the accountability that's the most important. So now we understand that the main difference between the incorrect way to apologize and the correct way to apologize is that the incorrect way has justification leading the way, while the correct way has explanation leading the way. Now, with that being said, another thing that we need to understand is when to apologize. Once again, this seems a little too easy. It's like, well, what do you mean when to apologize? Doesn't everyone know when? No, especially nowadays. Nowadays, more people are getting shamed into apologies. They don't really feel bad, but they feel as though that they have to apologize because they're getting shamed by a mob or certain friends or certain family members. Here's a little rule that I have. Only apologize when there's genuine remorse. And the only person that knows whether you have genuine remorse is you. Is because it's subjective in nature. So that's the next thing that we want to understand. When should we apologize? When there's genuine remorse. And last but not least, what if someone doesn't accept the apology? There's two reasons that people do not accept an apology. The first reason is because the pain is too deep. And the second reason is because it's too late to apologize. For the first reason, did you ever watch one of those shows where it's one of those court cases and a criminal, a killer, is about to be sentenced to prison? Right before they get sentenced to prison, they talk to the family of the victim that they killed. So this guy, this criminal, looks at the family and is like, I'm really sorry for killing your son. And then he's like, the criminal's like, it's completely my fault. I'm the person that messed up. Showing genuine remorse, apologized, gave an explanation by taking accountability. And then the family is like, we do not accept your apology. You can rot in hell. Why? Because the pain is too deep. They're never going to get their son back. And it doesn't matter if the criminal did the apology in the correct way. The pain is just too deep. The second reason that people do not accept an apology is because it took too long. Have you ever had that one moment when you got screwed over in a business transaction? Let's say it's from your own business partner. You spent a long time trying to track your business partner down because you trusted him. This is the person that you guys started off in mom's garage with, and out of nowhere, this person got greedy. For 4 years, you tried to contact this person, and for 4 years, they didn't respond back to you. Well, one day, you just had enough, and you're like, okay, I can't do anything about it, and you move on with your life. 4 more years passes on by. One day, your phone is ringing, and it's your old school business partner. This person has had a transformation, as you can say. They've picked up spirituality. They have a spiritual coach. And the spiritual coach told your ex-business partner, listen, grasshopper, you need to make amends with the people that you did wrong in the past. That's why your ex-business partner is calling you and apologizing. But you're at that stage where, it's too late, man. The wound has already healed, and I'm not trying to reopen the wound so you can feel good about yourself. Apology not accepted. So these are the two reasons that people do not accept an apology. The heart is too deep, or it just took too long to apologize. And I'll actually give a third reason as well. The third reason is because a lot of individuals are prideful at the moment. Let's go back to that Jesse and Jessica interaction. Jesse was the drunk guy that yelled at Jessica. Next day, Jesse tries to apologize to Jessica, but Jessica's like, no, I don't accept your apology. Maybe because Jesse was super disrespectful during that argument, and it's just she has pride. She doesn't want to accept it, and that's rightfully so. Or another reason, another part of the pride is that she's just like, well, that can never happen to me. What you did is a situation that only you can be involved in. That will never happen to me. That's one of the reasons a lot of people do not accept apologies. Subtly in the back of their mind, it's like, that can never happen to me. But one thing I learned is that people who say that that can never happen to me have a strange way of finding themselves in moments where it does happen to them. I'm not saying that Jessica is wrong. What I'm saying is that pride does play a role in social skills as well. So if you're in that situation where you gave someone an apology and they did not accept, understand that that's a part of life. There is no such thing as all apologies being accepted. That's why a lot of friendships dissipate, why a lot of friends turn into strangers. At least you tried. So the main recap for today's video is the incorrect way to apologize is when there's no remorse and you're just justifying away. That's a waste of time. The correct way to apologize is when there is remorse and there's explanation. The main difference between a justification and an explanation is that an explanation takes accountability while justification tries to take away accountability from the initial perpetrator. And then from there, the reasons that people do not accept an apology is because the hurt is too deep, it took too long to apologize, or the person is just prideful and they do not want to forgive. With that being said, not all apologies are going to be accepted. That's just a part of life. So if you enjoyed today's talk and you want more breakdowns of the often ignored parts of social skills, be sure to check out the ArmaniTalks free daily newsletter, which goes out every single day at 7 p.m. EST. In this newsletter, you will learn more about social skills, how to apologize correctly, how to listen effectively, how to follow up in a wise way, along with plenty of other topics. Join the tribe by checking out the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter and sign up today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.